So this really is kind of, in my own way, a love letter to all the parents, especially the moms, who were the ones who stepped up, whether they were, partnered or not.
I'm very excited today to be speaking with Michael Cusumano and Charity Schubert, the director and star of Last Minute, which, if I'm correct, is a short premiering at Tribeca. It is coming at it will be at Tribeca this year. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, our New York City premiere will be at Tribeca Festival on June 6th, and we have additional screenings on June 13th and 14th, and we could not be more thrilled.
Honestly, you have every right to be excited. Last Minute is such a fun and nostalgic for those of us that remember that era. Nostalgic short about just one night trying to get that last project out. But where did the film come from?
The film came from just a connection of a few things. I think the moment I remember the moment I had the idea. It's when I was talking to my sister, and I have three nephews, all at the time high school age, and I found out this was like 3 years ago when I first had the idea. I found out that thanks to COVID and everyone being set up for remote learning, they were never going to have another snow day because we had just had a big snow, and they just instead of having the day off to go have fun, they just went to their bedrooms and went to class, for remote class. And it got me thinking about, oh my God, I'm old enough now that my childhood memories have historical value. It was like a thunderbolt. Like, oh my God, I'm that age. I'm like, I have to I have to start getting these memories down. Like I remember when we were kids, they're like, go, your school project is go interview your grandpa about, the depression, and so we can, for posterity, we'll know these things. I'm like, oh no, that's me now. Oh well, let me tell you about snow days. And so I started thinking about things that I had in my childhood, or those of us, born, in the Reagan years or around that time would remember from their childhoods. And I immediately thought of waiting until the last minute to get a major homework assignment done without having the internet there to help you. And I was like, oh, kids today have no idea, and being a chronic and incurable procrastinator myself, so that's right where my brain went. And I was like, that if I could capture that, then that's going to be a thing that I think people will react strongly to, because everyone has can relate, I think, to that idea.
It's such a wild moment in time to think of being that far back. I mean, the film references got Back to the Future right behind me
Yeah.
here. I love that. This is a coincidence, but it's also not because I love this film. But that's 40 years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really underestimated it. Charity could tell you about it. When we went to do the production design, we were like, I had a few ideas of movies we wanted, short films we wanted to make. I'm like, let me do this one about the homework because that's going to be a lot of people sitting there. It's going to be affordable. And then I'm like, as soon as we got started, we're like, oh no. And 1989 was a long time ago. So finding these period specific things, I was like, it was much more challenging than we anticipated. Because yeah, it's not last week anymore. It always just feels like perpetually 20 years ago. Like since I became an adult, yeah, that was 20 years ago or 15, 20 years ago. And then I'm like, nope, no,
Not at all.
30 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Charity, and I have to say, Charity, you do such a wonderful job. And
No,
it's 15 minutes, but you fall in love with your character so quickly.
thank you.
I wondered for you is his name pronounced Espyn? Is that how we
Espen, yes. Yeah.
Espyn? Working with Espyn in this space, what did you have to explain a lot of the world to him at this point? Because it is so interesting to see. Okay, well, why don't you read the encyclopedia? Well, we only have up to K. We have use the phone. Okay, we got the cord. We do all these things, typewriters, all these things. But what was it like trying to work through that with him?
It was fantastic. We have some really great stories from set. Espyn Doughty was just an absolute gem to work with across the board. He was 12 years old at the time that we filmed. This was actually his first time on camera ever, if you can believe that. Yeah, he is a natural. He had done some theater, but he really was very green. And he was just an absolute joy to work with. He was more professional and precise than a lot of, adult professional actors that I've worked with. Um, but I will say one of my favorite stories that I got to witness was when he had the first scene, day one. He had to pick up a landline telephone and use it, and it was a glorious disaster. He picked it up from the wrong end. He had like the cord wrapped around him. It was really amazing. He had no idea how to speak on a landline phone, but Michael showed him, and he ended up, of course, getting it, and it was great. But yeah, it was really special getting to kind of share pieces of my childhood with a kid, and seeing him react to it. It was a lot of fun, and just brought back a lot of memories for me, and also just made me feel my age in a really profound way too. I was like, wow, this child has never seen a phone book. We have a really beautiful behind the scenes photograph of our assistant director and editor, Melissa Goslin, showing him how a phone book works. And he got so excited because we used one. We didn't find one from the 80s, but we found one from, I think, like the aughts, and it was local to where we filmed, and he was so excited because he's like, my principal's in here, and he had this like secret information of where this man lived, his address and his phone number. So it was really amazing to watch that process.
Watching this film reminded me of the challenges of just getting information that we had at that time. Um, it- but it's interesting because a film like this, it's nostalgic, but at the same time, it sort of shows you that it's a bit of a struggle. So I guess what I'm asking here is for both of you, do you think we're better off than we were, or do you think that maybe we're missing something that we had?
I think I definitely think we're missing something. That was when I once I started to really write the idea. I could tell like it started out like, oh, this is just like I said, a memory that I think is so strong and it's something so relatable. But once I really started to write it, that was my one of my driving themes was the idea that nothing, no technology, no technological advancement comes for free. There's always a price. And often you don't see what it is you're paying until you look back with the fullness of time and say like, oh, that's gone now. I didn't realize I was giving that up until like I looked back and saw that oh these kind of things are gone. And so there was another version of the film you could have made which was set in today and it's just very Black Mirror and you see how kids and no one's communicating and it's all very dark and but I thought m more effective was to tell the negative story to show like not the negative story but to show the opposite story to go back in time and say like look at this warmth and look at how, but just by over the course of this pain in the ass evening for this mother and child, they end up forming really good memories that they like that this kid is gonna remember when he's my age, that he's gonna remember this night. And she reaches out to the community. And you have to, it kind of branches off into tangents where her friend from work has to call her brother because the brother's a know-it-all. And suddenly it's a film about these two. And it becomes about their relationship and all these things and these connections that you have to form when you have to communicate with each other. They've kind of gone away. And like it just without being heavy-handed, I did want to draw the comparison and just make the audience think like, how would that story go today? The kid would stay in his room, probably never talk to anybody. And I didn't want to make an anti-technology film because I did want to show the downside. Like, yes, it's a huge pain in the ass. And there are moments where Charity's character tries to cheat. Human nature is human nature. You want a shortcut. You just like, look, what's this teacher going to notice? What can we get away with? Because it's getting late, you know? And we got more material. So like, yeah, that was very intentional. Like, I don't want to be like rose-colored. Oh, everything was wonderful. Like, no, humans are humans and human nature is human nature and I wouldn't give up my GPS with a gun to my head, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to be take a look and be conscious like we've traded off some stuff.
Absolutely. And I think for me, I also not anti-technology. And I think one of the, you said, are we better off now or worse? And in terms of access to information, we are absolutely better off. more people having more access to more information is a net positive. But I think we have to think very carefully about the unintended costs associated with it. Like Michael said, there's less community. You're not reaching out to people. There's also kind of a learned helplessness if we're just going to rely on AI for everything. That there's a lack of kind of teaching that gritty resourcefulness that we had to have back in the 80s. So I think it's just about being conscious of how we're using that technology and not letting it be a tool and a benefit, but not letting it become a crutch and something that isolates us. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this is at all film coming from the perspective of, oh, these are the good old days and everything is terrible now. It's just be aware and be mindful of what we're giving up, because everything comes with a price tag attached to it.
And I would point out one thing is that if over the course the evening is a free for all and they're scrambling and they're doing all this stuff to get the facts, but if you pay attention, the kid actually does learn the thing he's supposed to be learning almost as a side effect of trying to get this information so desperately. He's going to remember those facts he looked up. He just can't help it. So I'm not sure that would work the same if he just kind of downloaded it from Wikipedia.
Well, that's one honestly one of the things I appreciate about this film is that it's talking about technology, but also it's not saying, it's not saying, oh, this was bad or now it's bad. It's just saying we had challenges, and you're right. There are these relationships that form, or not that they form, because there's also the mother-son relationship is already there, but sort of deepened by the experience of working out the problem together. And I know Charity, I wanted to ask you about this too, because I know the film is, or this will air closer to the premiere in January, or sorry, June, not January. But this weekend is Mother's Day as we're having this conversation, and I wondered about your thoughts on this character and really the unspoken heroism of motherhood, because boy, does she step up. Even at she's come home from work, she's exhausted, and it's like, oh, we have to do this now.
Yep. Yeah. So I love Jackie. When I first read the script when Michael gave it to me, I was kind of like, what? Because I'm not a mother. I don't have any kids. I have lots of little nieces and nephews, but none of my own. And I did not see myself as really playing a mother. But as I got to know Jackie, I found a lot of myself in her and how I think I would be as a mother. And one of my favorite things about Jackie is that she does not really relate to Jason as a little kid. She talks to him more like a small adult because she is a single mom. And I imagine that at some point, whenever, we don't know anything about the dad, but whenever dad wasn't around anymore, I imagine her turning to this small child and being like, okay, buddy, it's me and you now. And they have to figure it out. She is mother and father. She's provider and disciplinarian, she's a nurturer, she's everything all in one. And as she says in her late night conversation, as Georgia says in their late night conversation on the phone, she's the parent who showed up. So this really is kind of, in my own way, a love letter to all the parents, especially the moms, who were the ones who stepped up, whether they were, partnered or not. There's always the one parent who is the one who is up till 3 a.m., making the model and doing the work and being present. So yeah, that was a real joy getting to play sort of a more non-traditional mother that didn't have the usual parent-child relationship. And one of the directions that Michael was adamant about through the entire filming process was we were never to see Jackie just yelling at Jason. It's not interesting to the audience. It's not an interesting dynamic in the relationship, and that's not who she is. She's disappointed, she's frustrated, she may be irritated, but she's never just going to scold Jason because she just treats him more like an adult. And once she makes the decision of like, okay, I'm going to help bail you out, then she's fully committed. There's no sense in just berating a child. What's done is done. Let's just get this project over with. And then tomorrow we'll deal with the consequences. And I really love that about her, that she's that type of mom and that she manages to she kind of gets into it, you know, like she starts having some fun with it. It's like, all right, if I have to be up doing this, I might as well get creative. And you see her kind of light up and you know, get into the process of it, which is, I think, a really, really fun choice that Michael made in the writing of this.
Yeah, she very much, she doesn't just step up to help, she gets into it.
Yeah.
That's the
She's creative, you know, she gets that creativity kind of a jolt from doing it. So yeah.
the let's try and come up with something on our own moment was
Mhm.
pretty great.
Yeah.
I
A
love
little
that.
shady. Jackie's a
A little
little
shady.
shady, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, he straightens out Jackie. Like he says it was
Yeah.
he's but honestly, it's the film is so much fun and she's a great character. Like she's honestly the type of mom that you hope you have. Is that she
Yeah.
steps in, I love that you say that. She doesn't yell, but we have to get through this. We'll deal with it another time. I'm frustrated, but we're gonna get working this out together. I think she's just a wonderful character.
It really
Thank
was
you.
about two or three drafts in when it really just fully dawned on me like, oh, it's really her story. In the
Mm.
process of writing it, I think in the initial idea, I was so focused on like, oh, the pacing, and they're gonna have to. I can come up with all these things that they have to do, and it's such you have to get so creative and run all over town and call so many people. But when I really got down to the heart and the characters really started to speak, you like speak for themselves outside of like like when you as you write the characters become fully formed. I was like, oh, she's the it's her film. She's
Mm.
the dynamic character. She's the one with the struggle. The kid is just like from the opening, as soon as he gets his mom's help, he's got what he needs, and she's the one with the decisions to make. She's like, am I doing the right thing? And it's kind of like the same thing as like the consciousness of like thinking about technology. She's also thinking about she's conscious of like her parenting is and it's just like that's a burden beyond just having to stay up late. She has to the fact that she cares is something that she has to deal with. Like, should I be doing this? Am I making him lazy? Am I giving him bad habits? Should I just let him face the consequences? Or is that wrong? So it really became her story in the writing of it. And if you watch it again with that in mind, by the like the two-thirds mark, it's pretty much she takes over completely.
I'm not gonna lie, I had memories of my own mother watching this. Mom, if you are watching or listening to this, thank you for my model rocket project when I was 9. But anyway, that's another story. Uh,
We'll get her a T-shirt that says last
there
name.
we go.
Yes, yes. Everyone is either Jackie or Espyn. Like
Yeah.
everyone who sees this film was either, oh, that was me, or oh, that was my kid. So yeah, everyone can relate. So sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no, it really is true. It really is true. I mean, the film is so wonderful. Just as we wrap, I thought I would ask you both if there is something from that era that you wish we still had today.
That's a good question.
Let me tell you, I loved that landline phone. It felt so good and so right, and just resting it, cradling it between my shoulder and my ear during a scene, I was like, "Oh, I remember this." And it just felt substantial, like I was really talking to someone. I wasn't, of course, acting, but it just felt real. And I miss that to the point that I have actually gone online and found a device that you can use to turn an old landline phone. You can hook up your cell phone to it and speak through the handset. And I may get it for myself. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the telephones of yesteryear, I absolutely miss.
I can't defend it. It's wildly inefficient. It's probably right that it's gone, but I miss the library card catalog.
Mm,
There was something about earning that you had
yep.
to earn that information. You felt like Indiana Jones. You felt like an archaeologist trying to just blowing the dust off this, and I'm gonna find this information. And by the time you got what you wanted, it had placed a value on it. And
Yeah.
it was just you felt like an accomplishment you finding the book. And again, it's ridiculous to think like, oh, we've got 9 categories. That should cover every book ever written. It's nonsensical. It's wildly inefficient. But there was a pleasure to it, a tactile pleasure.
Both of those I remember so fondly, and I remember being in university in the mid to late '90s, and a professor saying you can't use Google as your site as a site on an essay, like you can't cite a Google website. They said you need to know how to use the library because it'll never go out of style. Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
hindsight.
Hindsight, hindsight. Honestly, it is just a joy to speak with you about this film. It is so much fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us. We're always thrilled to share, and it's been an absolute joy speaking with you. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. Last minute, playing at Tribeca this year, premiering on June the 6th, I think we said. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
Yes,
correct.
indeed. June
All
6th.
right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Thanks. Bye bye.